What I've seen is that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle to scale their businesses consistently, not because they're not smart enough, they're not hardworking enough, they're not skilled enough, but because they haven't gained mastery over their mental state. And what I mean by that is, they basically react negatively to certain situations, which can really sabotage their performance and create a lot of inconsistency in how they show up in their business, where, they're performing poorly, not executing very well. Maybe they get sucked into distractions. They start doubting themselves. They get frustrated, and they might start procrastinating or avoiding the hard but necessary tasks. And this can stem from simply just not responding to situations in an optimal way. And I've seen this countless times where very intelligent, hardworking, skilled entrepreneurs sabotage themselves because of their perspective. And in this video, I'm going to show you one extremely simple mental shift that's going to help you outperform everyone else and be able to consistently do the things you said that you were going to do to scale your business and be able to really perform at your best and put your best foot forward in your business every single day and have that consistency. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Nick Portillo. I'm a peak performance coach for entrepreneurs. Over the years, I've learned a very important lesson, and that lesson is that in order to move very quickly and effectively towards goals, you have to master your perception, because how you describe reality to be in your head directly influences what actually happens. Now, this isn't anything woo-woo, okay? Because we tend to believe that reality comes with meaning inherently. But the truth is that reality is neutral. Nothing has a meaning until you assign it a meaning. For example, if you see a tree, it can just be a tree, right? However, let's say that tree is in front of your grandparents' house and you used to play on that tree with your cousins and your siblings, whatever. Now that tree is more than a tree. It means something else to you, right? But to a stranger, it's just a tree. And so the meaning that we assign to objects and to situations in our reality is entirely dependent upon our own conditioning, upon ourselves. Like, I forgot who said it, but I think it was James Allen in the book As a Man Thinketh. You don't experience the world as it is, you experience the world as you are. It was something like that. And basically what that means is that everything that you experience is dependent upon the way that you're framing it, the story that you're telling about it. That ultimately is what determines the experience that you have. So for example, right, if you see event as bad and blocking your path, well, that's exactly what's going to happen. And you'll just get more evidence that, things aren't working out for you. And if you're constantly seeing certain situations that don't go your way as bad and blocking your path and not good, and you're just going to start seeing more and more cases of that being the case. And if you are perceiving your reality this way, your business this way, it's going to influence your decision making. And the opposite is also true. If you see events as good and helping you achieve your goals, well, that's exactly what they will do, because you'll just start to see more and more evidence that you're making progress and that everything is working out for you. And that perspective is also going to influence your decision making. And so this takes intentional training and practice to kind of catch yourself when you're seeing an event as negative, or, to switch it to see it as benefiting you. But it's really important to understand that perception is a choice. What really makes this difficult is that subconscious conditioning, is your subconscious inclinations to perceive certain types of events in a certain light. And if you're not able to catch these subconscious processes, then, this is really what can make it difficult, and it can get you trapped in a loop of this kind of just negative perception where you are in a self-fulfilling prophecy, where you keep fulfilling this negativity in your business, in your life. And so that's why I said it takes conscious, deliberate practice to catch yourself in your old ways of thinking and consciously shift into a more powerful perspective. And so here's an example of, what I'm talking about. And so let's just say that you didn't perform as well as you wanted on a sales call, right? Like you thought that you were gonna do well, whatever, but then you're on the call after the call and it's like, it just didn't go well. You didn't do really good, you got distracted, whatever it was. One way would be to see that as bad, right? You could see that as a sign that you suck at sales and that you're not gonna hit your goals this month and that maybe your business is gonna collapse and fail and you're gonna die, right? Like that's ultimately where it leads, right? Is death. But what if you saw it as good? What if you didn't perform as well and you're like, perfect? And you saw that it's just data to optimize your process and to see where you can improve your skill, right? Now, let's say you didn't sleep well, right? You wake up, you're exhausted, you're tired, you got brain fog, right? Pressure in your head. You can see that situation as bad, right? And see it as negative and limiting you and blocking you. Oh, today's gonna suck and oh, I don't wanna work and blah, 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 blah. You can be operating in that perspective, or you can see the situation as good and benefiting you. Because if you can perform optimally, even on low sleep and bad sleep where other entrepreneurs crumble, but you perform anyways, well, that just proves you can handle anything, right? And so it's really about taking control of the story in your head. And you can see how two different perspectives in the same exact situation lead to potentially different outcomes. Two entrepreneurs seeing it those ways, which one do you think is actually going to scale their business more effectively? The guy that's seeing it as a bad thing or the guy that sees it as a good thing, right? Same with the sleep thing, right? If you see it as bad versus seeing it as good, in which perspective are you going to be more productive and effective, right? And this is really what throws a lot of entrepreneurs off. And I'm speaking from personal experience, right? Like this stuff is they call it subconscious for a reason, right? It's underneath your consciousness. A lot of times you don't see it. And this is why it's extremely valuable to have a coach in your corner, because they can call out your blind spots, but you have to be able to do this for yourself as well. Over time, as you practice this, you can get to the point where you'll just condition your mind to automatically look for the benefit in the situation. And that's kind of like a point where I'm trying to get to now, where automatically I'm just like, good, perfect. Like Jocko Willink had a talk about this, where, whatever happened, he would just say good. And that's really the mindset to have. If you can see it as good and it gets to the point where it's automatic, you're deadly at that point. You can't be stopped. And while most entrepreneurs are crumbling under the pressure and stress of undesired experiences, that you're just going to be gliding at full capacity, completely unfazed. And this is what Nassim Taleb referred to as anti-fragile, where you become stronger, more powerful, and effective the more stress and adversity you face, not weaker and more destroyed. That's basically most entrepreneurs. This is truly at the core of what unlocks your ability to perform consistently in business. It's not some secret strategy or tactic or some supplement stack or red light therapy. It's taking control over your thought process, taking control over your mind. And so just as a recap here, it's all about perception. And you have a choice in how you respond to a situation. You can label that event as benefiting you, or you can label the event as negative and harming you. It's completely your decision. And whichever one you choose is what's going to be true for you, right? This is why Henry Ford was like, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And it's this same fundamental principle here. Whether you think it's good and benefiting you or you think it's harming you and limiting you, you are correct. And so if you train yourself to look for the way that a situation is serving you, you can increase the speed of your momentum and you start to become anti-fragile, where your momentum is just unbreakable because you don't see anything as holding you back. You only see things as allowing you to get to where you want to go and become the person you want to become.